retribution. Magbayad ka sa ginawa mo.
We need to start conscientizing our people of the morality of what's happening, because whatever we do, killing is killing and killing is bad. I would say 99%. Every Christian, every Catholic knows that what he's doing is wrong. But again, the problem is, will they speak out?
Spanish period. Capital punishment during the early Spanish period took various forms including burning, drowning, garrote, hanging, and shooting. Filipinos who were meted the death penalty, including the native Lurgis, Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora, who were garroted in 1872, and Dr. Jose Rizal, executed on December 30, 1896.
Garrote is a method of capital punishment in which an iron collar is tightened around a condemned person's neck until death occurs by strangulation or by injury to the spinal column at the base of the brain.
Treason, kidnapping, murder, rape, and robbery with homicide were considered capital offenses and warranted the death penalty. Macario Sakay was one of those sentenced to die for leading a resistant group. He was sentenced to die by public hanging. Japanese occupation. There are no recorded or documented cases of executions through the death penalty during this period, simply because extrajudicial executions were widely practiced as part of the pacification of the country. Post-World War II, espionage or spying is added to the list of capital offenses.
The anti-subversion law called for the death penalty for all communist leaders. However, no executions were recorded for any captured communist leader.
The Marcos years, the number of capital crimes increased to a total of 24, some crimes which were made punishable by death through laws, and decreased during the Marcos period were subversion, possession of firearms, arson, hijacking, embezzlement, drug-related offenses, unlawful possession of firearms. Jaime Jose, Basilio Pineda, and Edgardo Aquino were executed for the gang rape of movie star Maggie de la Riva in 1972. Despite prohibitions against public executions, the executions of the three was done in full view of the public.
My countrymen, as of the 21st of this month, I signed Proclamation number 1081, placing the entire Philippines under martial law. This proclamation was to be implemented upon my clearance, and clearance was granted at 9 o'clock in the evening of the 22nd, last night. I have proclaimed martial law in accordance with the powers vested in the President by the Constitution of the Philippines.
19 executions took place during the pre-martial law period. 12 were executed during martial law. The last judicial execution under the Marcos years was in October 1976, when Marcelo San Jose was executed by electrocution.
Similar to the reasons for the imposition of capital punishment during the colonial periods, the death penalty during the Marcos regime was imposed to quell rebellion and social unrest.
I held fast to Ninoy's conviction that it must be by the ways of democracy I held out for participation in the 1984 election the dictatorship called, even if I knew it would be rigged.
The death penalty was abolished under the 1987 Constitution. The Philippines became the first Asian country to abolish the death penalty for all crimes. All death sentences were reduced to reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment.
Soy Paco Larrañaga, soy un español. 8 años se llevo en un cárcel aquí en Filipinas y soy inocente. Me han condenado a muerte por un crimen que no he hecho. En mi juicio no he podido testificar.
A series of high-profile crimes during this period, including the murder of Eileen Sarmenta and Alan Gomez, created public impression that heinous crimes were on the rise. The Ramos administration reimposed the death penalty by virtue of Republic Act No. 7659 in December 1993 to address the rising criminality and incidence of heinous crimes. Republic Act No. 8177 mandates that a death sentence shall be carried out through lethal injection and gas poisoning. Leo Echegaray was executed in February 1999 and was followed by 6 other executions for various heinous crimes. Estrada issued a de facto moratorium on executions in the face of church, led campaigns to abolish the death penalty, and in observance of the Jubilee year. Arroyo publicly stated that she is not in favor of executions. Arroyo lifted the de facto moratorium issued by Estrada on December 5, 2003. Even as executions were set to resume on January 2004, this did not push through by virtue of a Supreme Court decision. President Benigno Aquino III said fixing the justice system is more important than the imposition of the death penalty. Aquino said that government would have to thoroughly study the proposal of the revival of the death penalty despite concerns on the rush of crimes in the country.
President Duterte reinstating the capital punishment for drug-related crimes created a turmoil whether to approve it or not and whether it is helpful or not. The bill limits the death penalty to drug-related offenses only in people who commit serious crimes such as murder and rape, while under the influence of drugs could also be executed. The bill allows for execution by hanging, firing squad, or lethal injection. President Duterte is now putting it into actions, what he has promised, and that is eradicating illegal drug usage. Because of the increasing crimes related to drugs, death penalty is one solution to put a stop to it.
What can you say about reinstating the death penalty?
death penalty. So yung thought ko hindi ako favor. Kasi nga, makadiyos nga ako. Hindi tama sa death penalty para sa mga tao. Lalo na, nilalang tayo ng Diyos. So dapat ang Diyos lamang ang makakaalam kung ano ang dapat para sa atin. Kung meron man tayong nagawa na hindi maganda. So, Diyos lamang talaga ang magbibigay ng penalty sa atin. For sure, hindi naman yung death. Okay?
Makikita rin natin sa mga krimen na nagaganap ngayon na ang mga krimen na ito pati na ang kanilang pamamaraan nakakagalit. Ang ating pinoproteksyonan dito ay buhay ng tao. Kung walang parusang kamatayan, ang piniproteksyonan natin ay kriminal.
At the end of the day, the restoration of the death penalty for serious crimes is an issue of debate in the Philippines. The arguments put forward by people who support or are against the death penalty often reflect their deeper principles and beliefs. These beliefs and principles are deeply rooted in life experiences and the way people are brought up and are unlikely to be swayed by clever arguments. Hence, the pros and cons of the death penalty will be a never-ending issue for debate.